Hello, fellow Scoops. So, school! Fun! I'm from Germany, so I'm going to talk about the German school system a bit. Thing is, it's different depending on where you are and when you are. It changes every year and it changes depending on, like, the region where you are and changes from school to school. So I'm just going to talk about what I remember. I graduated last year and my brain decided that all that stuff wasn't really worth remembering. So yeah, I might be wrong about things. If you hear something different from someone else, then they're probably right as well. Yeah, whatever. So the basic thing that's pretty much the same everywhere, kind of traditionally, is that you go to school when you're 6 or 7 years old. That's primary school for 4 years, and then you go to secondary school. There's 3 different types of secondary school. There's one which goes for 5 years, and then you're done and can learn a job. And then there's one that goes for 6 years, and then you can go and learn a job. And then there's one that also goes for 6 years, but then you usually do another 3 years, and then you're done and can go to university. Now, if you're done with the other 6-year school in the middle there, you can also do the next 3 years, and if you're done with the 5 years, then you can do another year, and then you can do the last 3 years and go to university. But you need this 3 years high school degree to go to university. So basically the 9-year school is kind of preparing you to go to university, and the 5-year school is just preparing you to go and learn a job as fast as possible, which usually is one of the lesser paid jobs, but well, one that you don't need a university degree for. So if you want to become hairdresser, it makes no sense to go to the 9-year school. So the idea is basically a good one. You have this one school that's preparing you to go to university and do like a thinky kind of job, and you have to learn at least 2 languages. So in theory, the idea is not too bad because it'll just prepare you for the job you want to do. Thing is, children get separated and put into those schools when they're like 10 years old. Usually don't know what you want to do, and they're also usually put in those schools based on their grades and like how they are in school. And they're 9 years old or 10, and that's not really old. And in theory, you can change between the schools, but it doesn't really work that well. So usually you're kind of stuck, and that tells you what kind of job you can do in your future then, which really sucks. Also, people tend to think that the 5-year school is for stupid people and the 9-year school is for really clever people, which is bullshit, and there's a lot of elitism and it's pissing me off. I mean, there are attempts to change that. There are some schools that keep children together for longer, basically making primary school 6 years long and then separating them. There are schools that don't separate at all. They're usually kind of private alternative schools. There are schools that have the 5-year and the 6-year school in one school together. It's called middle school. Which probably makes it easier to do the 3 years that you need to go to university then. There's quite a few students who do the 6-year school and then do the 3 years on top of that, which is a bit difficult because that means, for example, they have to learn 3rd language in those last 3 years and do their final exams on it. The idea that I personally really like for anyone in general are A, B, and C courses or something like that. So if you're really good in one subject, you go to the A course and probably do some extra stuff and learn faster. And if you have problem grasping the subject, then you go to the C course for this specific subject. And I guess it's easier to kind of switch between courses within your school career thing than like switching the everything basically. Also makes sense to me because sometimes it really just depends on the topic in a subject. Like, I'm fairly good at mechanics, but as soon as you talk about electronics, I'm out. Also, I know someone who had to transfer to a lower school form just because they were bad in math and like had good grades in every other subject, just math, and that's preventing them from studying now. Which is like really, really stupid, I think, is that math that we learned at that point, I forgot all of it. I'm not going to use it for university. See you sometime.